Hi, and welcome to Bricolage Daily. Bricolage with Pink Girly is my channel, and bricolage, loosely translated, it's a French word, means using your stuff, using your stash. And I made this journal a little while ago, as you can see, with ideals pages, which I just did some, it looks like watercolor on my jelly plate, and then I stitched the edges. Now, my husband drilled those holes for me, and he did several for me at the same time, but some of them got really chewed up. So I asked for a little Dremel type drill for my birthday, which I got. Haven't used this yet. This may not go well, but my idea for Bricolage Daily is to just turn on my camera and record what I'm doing at my desk. So that's what I'm doing today. Now, on this particular book, I pinched all these pages together and glued the back. I'm not gonna glue it today. I'm gonna see how it works if I don't glue it and try to put in a variety of different pages. So the first thing I want to do is get my pages to be all single sheets, not a folio, what I'm, and probably you are used to using. So I've got a variety here. And some of them I left intact so I can show you what I'm doing. Now, generally for my Bricolage Daily videos, I'm trying to just keep them to a half hour. But today it's probably going to be a little longer. We'll just see. We'll see. So I hope you're all doing well. So the idea here for me today is to make several of these type journals, and I'm hoping to have a sale sometime in November, hopefully the beginning of November. And it's going to be a little bit different, but I need to get some things prepared for it. So this is what I'm working on. Just working at my desk. I've got, as you can see, a variety of pages. Okay, the rest of them, I believe, are all single sheets. Now, I do have an envelope here. This is a business reply. I took the flap off. That may not have been such a great idea, but I did it anyway. So now what I want to have is a very straight edge for all my pages, so they can be stacked very nicely on top of each other. I'm not really concerned about the size. I just want that edge to be straight. Now, see, these two are the same. Book. So I'm going to cut those together. Try to limit my slicing. Same with these. Anything that's the same. So I just went through. Now I want to make sure I'm flipping these the right way. Just went through a lot of papers that I had. And a lot of times what I do is I find papers in my stash, or I take a book apart, and then I start making signatures of what I think I might like to put together for a journal. And then I might pop them into a book cover. And sometimes I just leave them alone. It's easier, in my mind, to make a book or a journal with folios. because you just fold those in half, right? I think I need to do this differently. Maybe I'll put these up here on my keyboard. At least for me, it seems easier to use folios because then you just have to pop a few holes, do a pamphlet stitch, and you're ready to roll. You're ready to rock and roll. Now I'm trying to use a variety of different sizes. Now at the beginning of the video, I showed you what I had done with ideals pages. Of course, they were all the same. So that was a little easier. And there's a gal by the name of Shannon Green. I'd watched, it's an older video of hers, where she glues book pages together. And then she stitches them together. Actually, I think she was using magazine pages. It's really cool. So I tried to do that, and I feel like I was successful. But now I want to try it using different sized pages. Now my husband, he's a good sport, and he had several books at that time that I glued this, the back spine. And he just used his drill. And the drill was a little thick, I think. So I wanted something more narrow. So I found a little Dremel tool that I thought I'd like to have, and my sister's got it for me for my birthday. But things have just been so crazy. I haven't had a chance to mess around with it. So it may not go well. You could say I'm a bit mechanically challenged, but we'll see. We'll see. Now here's some of those little, like put one in here, okay. Observer's Book of, I think this one's fashion. Got a whole bunch of those. So this is an eclectic little collection of books to make what I would term as a junk journal. This piece here is an Edith Holden page. Sometimes the Edith Holdens come out in folios, and other times not so much. Okay. I could have done these ahead, but you know what? I'm working at my desk, and that's what my daily bricolage is going to be about. What I do daily when I'm not on a live and just working my desk. This one's really bigger. This one is straight. It's not torn, so we're going to leave that go. That is the same piece of composition paper that I treated. Sometimes that thinner paper is hard to manage. Some music paper I tore in half. There's more here than I thought I had. They look like the same size. Let's cut those the same. Now, once I get these all trimmed and straightened up, they look pretty good. Then I want to rearrange them how I want them to appear in my journal. And then what I will do is I will clamp them together. And then I have to mark them. Going straight. See, the ones that I tore, they're the ones I want the edge, at least one edge, to be straight so I can line them up and hopefully drill them appropriately. Then I have to mark where I want all my drill marks. And I want them close enough together so I can stitch them, but yet not too close where I tear the book pages, you know. I think that's what I did when I asked my husband to drill them. I think I had some of my marks a little too close together. Oh, it doesn't feel like it's cutting. And I've got an old Sears and Roebuck here. I also want to make sure my pages are going the right direction. For the most part, I'm not going to get clever with any of it. At least I don't think I am. That looks straight. I already have 2 of these in there. I don't think I need that. All right, let's shore this one up. The other thing I'm thinking is once I get the stitching, I think I want a piece of fabric for the covers so that it's soft. Right. Oops, sorry about that, kids. A soft cover and not a hard cover because I want to be able to let me straighten my camera again. See, I want the pages for someone to be able to fold the pages and then work in the journal. Or if I make the cover hard, like a cardboard or a chipboard type paper, or even a scrapbook paper, you know, you could fold it, but it might be a little cumbersome. So, see, on this one, I just left it plain, just the pages of the magazine. And I think that's what Shannon Green did. But I'm not sure I want to do that with these. I'm really not sure at this point. Okay, so I want to start putting these pages together. It really doesn't matter if you're going to try to do something like this yourself. You just want to do what you like. Got a bibliography. Just kind of mixing and matching and laying them out all different ways. Some of the shorter. I don't want everything in the center because the center will be super thick. Put that nice Edith Holden in there. Gosh, I do love her books. I want that one. See, I want to leave this on because I like that. But maybe I don't want that hanging out the bottom. Oh yeah, let's put in some map pages. They're always good. This may not work. This may be an epic fail. But we shall see. see, we've got some, oh yeah, these pages were from Saturday Evening Post, I think. The Treasury Collection. It was really a cool book. I took it apart and then used the color to make a journal. Turned out pretty cool. Now, let's see. Another page of this in. I didn't put any of my pink pages in. These are avocado dyed pages. Dictionary. Wow, dictionary page. Let's see. I think I want that on the front. Oh yeah, I want to get my envelope in. Now the thing with the envelope is if I stitch that, I got to think about that. That's not going to work. Don't think that will work. A little greeting card. See, I want my edges here all straight because this is where I'm going to be stitching. And if I left all those cut edges, I would have a bunch of fibers and papers, protruding where I'm going to try to stitch. So I want to be mindful of that. And this, I think I want for my back page. That looks cool. I didn't cut that one. Let's see. Now that dictionary page might be problematic there. Let's see. Let's flip him. I'll put that little card in there. A piece of the pink. Piece of the pink. I think I want this in a different spot. See, I'm looking for a real straight edge there. I put that in. Yeah, I should have left the flap on, but that's okay. We'll try it. We're going to try it and see how that works. I put that in that way. Now what I want to do is clamp these pages because I want to be able to mark where I want to drill. So I've got one large binder clip here. And I've got some really small ones. Oh, maybe these would work. Let's see how this works. Now, of course, this is going to be in my way, so we're just going to see. Oh, I didn't think about digging out other clips. Somewhere I have really long clips that I think you use them to sew. I don't know where I put those. I didn't think about those until just now. Now what I need is I need a piece of paper or a template that's as long as this paper. That'll be pretty good. I'm going to cut a piece of this off. Now I also have a ruler that has those little holes in it. I think it's a Tim Holtz ruler. Let's see. So what I want to do is I'm going to take a couple pieces of washi tape. And I'm going to tape down my template here. This may not work, don't know. But see, this is what I would be doing if I didn't have the camera on. Now on this ruler, there's little tiny holes. But I want my markings on this edge because that's where it's clear. So I'm lining up one of the lines from this ruler right there to try to keep myself on the straight and narrow. Now I'm going to take my Sharpie pen because, oh, I see we've got that glare. Does that help? I don't know if that helps. My lights. All right, let's see here. Now I want to determine how far apart I want. I guess that's a quarter inch. See, I'm terrible with these. Let's see. Yeah, because that's a half. I start here. Good, I can see that mark. But see, it's way over there. I want it over here. So let me line this up a little better. Now you can do this probably a better way than I am. But I'm marking every quarter mark. And hopefully it's not too close together that I can put my drill through all those pages. Coming right on down. Now you want to make sure you use some kind of a marker if you're using this kind of a ruler, because there's a certain thickness to the ruler. So now, if you can see, I have all my little markings of where I want my drill marks to be. I'm just use a regular ruler. That works for me with those little holes. So now what I want to do is I want to put this guide right here and hold that in so I can drill right through it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to scoop this one down. I'm going to get another clip. And all my pages, I think, are pretty well lined up. Now, when I drill, I don't want to drill down and break my glass. So I need something that's going to be a barrier. I'm thinking a catalog or something. And I probably need a few other clips. Gosh, where did I put my clips? You put them in places where it's the best place for them to be. If I stopped moving stuff, I'd be a little more successful, I think. All right, so let me find a catalog. Or it could be an old book, soft-sided. Well, I guess it doesn't have to be soft-sided. Just something I don't want to drill all the way through to my glass mat. Now I'm thinking this is probably not going to be as easy as I hope it's going to be. Well, this could be messy. All right, now I'm going to go slow because I just don't know how this is really going to work. I haven't really drilled anything before. Now that's a lot of holes to drill. So I have this plugged in. So I'm going to put it on slow, excuse the noise, and let's just see what happens. Well, My drill came right out. And it didn't go all the way through. Alright, so this I have to push that down. Let's try it again. I guess I can unplug this. It's been charging for a while. Yeah, I can come down a little bit more. It said something about hearing it click, but my hearing's not so good, so I don't know if I'm going to hear it click. Maybe I didn't screw it down far enough. Maybe that end is supposed to come out. So I get to a certain point, see, and it doesn't seem like it's going down any further. I guess I should have asked my husband. It's not coming off. All right, let's give it another go. I'm on the lowest setting. Oh. Well, that time I went through, so that was good. Gosh, I don't know if I can pause the video. I have no idea. I have a feeling it's going to happen again. Because it'll take me forever if I, oh look, this one screws. That was not helpful. All right, I'm going to try one more time, and then I'll go ask. Ooh. It's working. Does make a lot of dust. And I'm not coming quite through to the last page. Now I can speed this up a little. That might help. Oh, this is amazing. This is so much better than my husband's tool. I think his drill was just a little too thick. So it really chewed up my paper, you know. Does make a lot of dust. That one I seem to get off a little bit. But this is going to be eclectic. Yep, I think I'm going all the way through. Now, when I tried my husband's drill and I tried to go through fabric, that was not a good idea. That really, all the threads wound around the drill. Was not good. Was not good at all. You know, sometimes you have pages that aren't folios and you really want to use them. You don't really want to fold them in half. So if you do this kind of a thing, now that got a little off, so that's my last page is going to be a little off because it slid. Might have to eliminate that. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Yeah, see how crooked that got? Maybe I'll trim that off and then just put my needle through. Because like the needle can go through one sheet of paper, but especially if I don't do fabric on this one. All right, so I want to leave some clips on here to keep it together. And then we're going to get rid of this dust. Now I have to figure out about getting enough thread to stitch it. And that's always curious because I don't want to have to run out and have to I don't want to run out and then have to figure how to continue or to start it over halfway through, because I'm hoping to do is like a small X and then a regular stitch. So one of the first things I need to do is to find a needle that's going to fit through those holes. That's also going to take my waxed linen. So that this one will work. Now let me quick give this page a trim. And see if I can still use this. Now don't forget, this is my first time to do this. I'm going to save my template though. That might come in handy another time. Instead of always making, I think I could space my holes a little differently. All right. So this one I'm not going to put a cloth cover on. Normally, you would do 3 times the length of your book to get enough thread or cording, whatever you're going to use. I'm going to do it longer because I don't want to run out. I want to do an X stitch if I can. So I want to go down and back and then back again. So I'm going to do 9. 6. This is 9. And I'm going to make 9 really long. Just give it a little extra. We'll see what happens. So now the other thing you have to consider is the longer you make your thread, the more you have to yank to get it through. Now, what the heck did I do with that needle? Oh, goodness. I do this all the time. Does anybody see the needle? Oh, there it is. I see it. Now, ideally, I would like my ends to end up at the top so I could maybe put some charms on if I wanted to. So, I think I have to start at the top, don't I? I'm trying to flatten that little end there so I can hopefully thread that. Now, of course, some of that wax is coming off. Just normal. It's okay. Now, I'm going to double this just because it'll come through the book and hopefully not make a knot, and make it shorter for me to pull it through. Just like you were sewing on a button. So now let's see. Now I haven't done this in a while. The stitching. Now, of course, I want to leave a tail. So let's just start. It comes straight through all my. Now, this first hole, you want to be gentle because, especially if you're doing this kind of a book, because all your pages aren't the same size. So these are thin here. right? You only have a couple of pages, so I don't want to tear those. And I'm going to leave a good sized tail. And then I want to think about, I'm going to do like a whip stitch all the way down and then whip it opposite. So I'm coming around, I'm going down from the front, I'm coming around, I'm going to skip a hole, and I'm going to go into this third hole. And I have to zhuzh a little bit. To get all those pages to line up. Now I want to pull it secure enough where it's not buckled or loose, but I don't want to wrinkle my pages. So again, I'm going to skip that next hole and come down to the neck. Ow. Make sure your finger's not there. Come down to the next one. See, now that loosened up. Let's see. I can tighten it here from the top. Actually, I could probably clip that under. Now I'm coming around again, and again I'm going to skip. This time I'm going to be careful where my finger is. And I'm just hitting that piece of paper that I didn't drill through. Well, I did drill through it, but I did it crooked. And that's coming around. I'm just snugging that up. Now, of course, this is something you could do once you get it to this point. You could sit in front of your TV and stitch them together. I might try to speed up my video when I go to look at this. Now see, this one I must have gotten off a little bit because up to this point, there we go. If I just wiggle my needle a little bit, I'm finding the hole very easily, at least so far. Now see, I have some arthritis, so it's a little hard for me to pull all the way through that whole thickness, but I do have a pair of pliers here that I might get out, and that will help me. But you just want to be careful that you're not knotting your thread as I'm whipping it through the pages here. I want to make sure they all stay straight. See, this guy's starting to give me a problem. I want to make sure I straighten that out before I pull it too far, and then I can't unknot it. And I want to stay single thread coming through my binding. So I'm going to skip that guy, go in here till I'm through the back side. Now let me get my little pair of some kind of little plier type things. I just want to be able to grab my needle and tug it. I have a hard time doing that sometimes with my hands. Now, if you should want to glue your edges, see here I got off. There's some more of a space, but I'm not concerned about that. It'll be fine. It's just going to be very eclectic, which is fine with me. See, it's very easy when you're using a large piece of thread or cording for it to get twisted and cause a knot. Just like when you're sewing on fabric, if you get a knot, then you can't pull it through. And then we have trouble. Ooh, we got trouble. Trouble, trouble, trouble. Skipping that one. Now, if you're thinking, why is she skipping that? I'm skipping it because when I come back up, I'm going to get them to hopefully make an X type design. And with each time you stitch, you just want to give it a little snug tug. A little snug tug. It's very easy to do that. Now, of course, if you glue your pages, you don't have to worry about working around these clips. I think I can move that one now. They're all pretty well lined up. I think I can take this one off once you get started. Okay. Now see, now my threads are getting about even, so I want to make sure I shorten that up because I don't want to be doing double stitches as I come down. I'm losing that guy, so I'm taking him off. Now I have one of these made with magazine pages that, like Shannon Green did, she treated them with watercolor paint. And oh my gosh, they're so yummy and crunchy when you do that. And then I put them together. I did glue the edge and then I stitched them, and it makes such a cool journal. But you may not have magazines, you may not have the time. Maybe you just like journals and you don't really like making them. See, then folks like me can make them for you. So I am having a sale, like I said, in November sometime. And I'm hoping to get some in my Etsy shop. But if you're interested, just leave me a comment. Or you can find me on Instagram. Because it's just, a basic homemade journal, junk journal for you could use it as a glue book, journaling, art journaling, whatever. Very versatile. It's very versatile. Now, I still am skipping, at least I think I am, skipping every other hole. Seeing how I messed up this back cover paper. I just trimmed off those holes that got super crooked. You can see it is crooked. But it looks a lot better with me having trimmed it off. And then I'm just putting the needle through that one layer of paper that wasn't drilled. So it's working out okay. Okay, we're getting more towards the bottom here. Just making sure I stay in the course. And I'm looking at my time. It's about an hour. But when I go, I don't really edit my videos because, quite honestly, I don't have the patience for it. I'd rather be working at my desk and on my projects than fussing around with a video. See, now here I'm having a little bit of trouble. So I'm just going through my pages here and getting that needle back to where it needs to be. Or zhuzhing. I like to say zhuzh. So it's basically a whip stitch, if you're familiar with that. So you can see a little light under that stitch. So I want to tighten that up a little bit. These are a little uneven down here towards the bottom. Sometimes I don't hold the needle straight. I think I got a little off there. The shorter your thread gets, the easier. But see how there's a little bit of a loop there. I want to make sure I tighten that up. I don't want that to be loosey-goosey. And I want to make sure none of the pages are going to come free as they go to use the book, or whoever uses the book. So, I mean, you could Just do a whip stitch in every stitch and be done with it. It's up to you. You can stitch it any way that you want. There's also the Japanese stab binding stitches. You know, you can get directions for that on YouTube. And follow a video if you want to do some kind of super fancy stitches. Some of them aren't too hard to follow. Okay. Getting down towards the bottom. I keep putting my needle through the hole, which is not good. I don't want that. Now down at the very bottom, this is my last stitch on this side. So like at the top, there's only a few pages because not all the pages were the same length. So I'm going to gently pull that through, snug that up. Now what I want to do is I want to come back and I want to go in this opposite hole to make an X. So I'm going to wrap my thread around the end of the book here, I think. And if I put that in there, that will secure that. If I can find my little openings. Having a little trouble there. There we go. Get these little pinchers. Give that a little tug. Now this is the part I don't remember. See, so I'm going to come over there, around the end. Now I want to make an X. That's a little loose, so I'm going to tighten this up. Okay. Now I want to come back in. Yeah, that one's not going to be the X the way I want it. Let's see. So if I go here, I don't think I'm going to worry about that. So now I want to go in the hole that I left open on the way down. Now I'm going to go back up. Let's see what happens. It's really fiddly working with thread that's so long. I'm not sure how I get that one to be an X. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about that. So now I'm going to come back up. And as my thread gets shorter, it should get a little easier, I would think. Hopefully all my holes are lined up. And I'm going to come back. Yeah, baby. And just make sure that's right where I want it. See, now that guy's a little loop, a little loopy. Where's my, maybe I could use these. I think I pulled the wrong one. Yeah, you don't want to, just rip my paper. You don't want to do that. I pulled the wrong part of the X. I'm readjusting that one there. See, now I pulled this too tight. And that bent my paper. I don't like that. So I want to loosen that back up. So you have to really pay attention to what you're doing. And you got to make sure you don't pull the wrong thread. Because once you get them in place, they should stay there. You know, if you're not messing around like I am. Here we go. That's better. All right. That's one thing about my videos. You get to see what not to do, as well as what you might want to do. All right, I'm going to take this clip off too. More likely than not, most of you will be able to pull that through without having to use a pair of pliers or anything to grip it. That's just me. And you're wanting to come around the outside, you know, the outside spine there. Threads in the front. Now, I'm going to do some, I think, with some fabric on the front. And like I said, when I tried drilling through fabric, all the threads just came undone and wound around the drill. So I think when I do that, I'm going to do one of two things. I'm either going to put some kind of tape on the edge of the fabric so that I can drill without a problem, or I could put some kind of say like media like a glue and let it dry really well. There's probably some kind of seam binding. Some of you sewing ladies or folks that know about bindings and such. I think that would probably work. Or I might just poke my needle through like I did with that piece of paper on the back. I still have this one stitch that's really loose. So I'm going to tighten it as I go down the other way because see, I have a loose end down there. So what I'm doing, because it's driving me crazy. Where's my... I just got that one spot that I didn't pay attention. And then I pulled the wrong part of the X. And I got myself all messed up and it's too loose. And I don't want to get completely done and not be happy with it. I didn't even get through all those. Okay. That's better. Now, I would end the video if this was the last thing I'm going to do, but it's not. I'm going to do one more stitch up and back. Let me show you what my sample. Let's show you earlier. See, I did the X's, and then I came back in and put a straight stitch. All right, which kind of just finishes it off. You could do just the X and see how this looks. Well, let's compare. This just kind of finishes it. It's up to you, you know, whatever you want to do. But I like that extra stitch. Really makes it look nice. And of course, then it's more secure. And just make sure you're putting your stitch where you want it. Make sure you don't bend your needle so much where you might break it, because I don't want you to get hurt. They have a certain amount of play to them, but they will snap. Just be careful. Be mindful of that. And once you get going, maybe you can pick up a little speed. It's funny, some of them go right through. I didn't bring my drink out. I could use a little sip of some beverage. I'm telling you, these journals are so yummy. And you can do them with all the same type of paper, or like I tried today. We'll see what it looks like once we get the stitch together. Oops, see, now I'm getting a little knot. That's naughty, naughty. Okay, I'm starting to rock and roll. So the thing of it is when you stitch down the straight stitches, you're going to have a spot that's not stitched, so you have to come back up. I just stabbed myself again. I'm trying to hurry here. There we go. There may be an easier way to do this, or a better way to make those X's, but this is how I do it. Oh, of course, now I'm getting a cramp in my hand. Not good for on the camera. I just have to massage that little spot. It usually eases right up. Sometimes it's not so pleasant to get old. It doesn't feel very good when that cramps up. All right, let's see if we can. I'm going to get to the spot where I can show you how I do that other stitch. Oh, my left hand's giving me trouble. All right, let's get just a few more. See, if I grab that a certain way, this just, my whole hand locks up. Probably a little dehydration. All right. Trying not to pinch that hand. Now this is where we fixed it earlier. Tighten that up a little bit. I'm coming around with doing the last little bit here. Make sure I get all the way through. Now, Let's see here. Oh, this hand's still cramping up on me. All right, so I want to come around the top edge like we did at the bottom. You know, loop it around that top edge. So then I'm going to go back down straight. And now I'm going to go into the first hole and just do a straight stitch. It still can make knots, so you just have to be careful. So now I'm on the back side. And I'm going to go into the next hole. Straight through to the front. Now, if you want extra thread at the top or the bottom for putting on charms or tying something on, that's where you have to start. I thought I wanted them at the top this time, so I started stitching at the top. But if you'd rather have dangles at the bottom, you want to start at the bottom. All right, so now I'm going to go into the next stitch, and I'm just making a straight stitch. I'll show you in 1 second. Now the more thread, because see, we've been through there, so it's a little tougher because you're getting through some thread. So you're trying not to pierce that thread that's already there. Okay. So this is essentially what you have. It starts to make that straight stitch. See, there's one. You have a space, and there's one because you're going down and up, like I showed you. So when you get to the bottom, you have to come back up and do that stitch that's empty. And then you're going to end up with this. And I'm not going to sit here and show you that because we're already here quite some time. Right? But then you've got them all stitched together. And then you can fold this down and work flat. I think it's cool with the different pages. Different sizes, different kinds of pages. Of course, you can do them where they're all the same page, all the same pages. Or you could do all the same page size and do different pages. But I love the way that it's stitched. And you can do this with single sheets of paper, not folios. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment or get a hold of me on Instagram. I'd be glad to answer your questions for you. Thanks for joining me for this. Might just be my first Bricolage Daily. I'm not sure. We'll see. But thanks for joining me, and I hope to see you next time. Don't forget, take time to be creative and enjoy the journey. Bye-bye for now.